So the idea is to be as interactive as we can. We're going to give you some information, but we really want to get information back from you as well. So we'll be asking for information from you as we go along. The topics we distributed in the emails. So basically we want to do a bit of an update, a little bit of follow-up on the fundraising, something about Rotary Club Central, touching on the strategic plan, the district conference, and then awards. So that's what we plan to do. And again, please make sure that during the session, if you have questions or want to ask questions or offer some information, please use those two techniques, either the chat or the raised hands. So, David, would you like to give us a bit of a district update, please? You'll have to unmute first, Dave.
That's what they tell me. I'm really pleased with how the district is going this year. Our membership numbers are up substantially. They're 2% above above what our numbers were last year, and are actually the best in the zone, which is all across Canada. And so we're pretty happy about that. And really, quite frankly, I think that the people that say you can't bring in a member during COVID really are not thinking about how they can be bringing in members. They're not realizing that our organization, just because of pandemic, doesn't mean we've stopped doing things. We are still doing a number of things. A number of clubs have events and projects and fundraising things. And so I think that what we want to concentrate on the last portion of the year, which is our last 4 months, I guess, 3.5, is, and we want to concentrate on retaining our members. At the beginning of the year, it seems that every year there's a big drop off. I think what we need to be conscious of is that drop off well before it happens. So I think we have to realize that in District 5040, there may have traditionally been a number of members that decide that they've had enough, and they wait until the end of the year. But what we have to do is we have to make sure we get to those Rotarians and talk to them, ask them why they think that they are leaving, ask them what it is that would help them stay, and then build on the numbers that we have, and let's keep who we've brought in, and let's bring in some more. Keith. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's a brand new committee for this year that we've managed to come up with the terms of reference. And Ardith, who is our North Shore AG, she is going to be the chair. So she'd like to say a couple of words.
Thanks very much, Dave. I just want to encourage everyone. I will be circulating our terms of reference to all club presidents so that you can make your clubs aware of the initiative. We're very anxious to increase our numbers on our committee, and we will be working very hard between now and the end of June, particularly, and then next year as well, to make sure that our clubs represent the communities they serve. So this is what we'll be looking to do, and it involves looking at diversity of membership. We're very fortunate in that we have age diversity in most of our clubs, and looking at inclusion and making sure our clubs are a little more inclusive than they are right now. We're very fortunate with clubs in Richmond and Cambie and Mountain View that we've got excellent representation there, but we want to make sure our other clubs are as well. So please feel free to contact me. Presidents, work through your AGs and please encourage any new members to be in touch with me or for their AGs to be in touch with me. Thank you very much, Dave.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Ardith, for taking that task on. It's a beauty. So next we have obviously our foundation. So far this year, our foundation is doing actually quite well. I was talking to the foundation director yesterday. They said that we're up to almost $200,000, which is really good for this district, but it doesn't mean we can't get more. There's lots of opportunity for more money for the foundation, and whether you want it to go to the annual funds or whether you want it to go to the Polio Plus, it doesn't really matter. It all does good in the world, and it all does what we're supposed to do. Now on May the 12th, zone-wide, I believe it is, there's going to be a Rotary Gala Foundation. A Rotary Gala, Rotary Foundation Gala and fundraiser. If you haven't already seen information on that, you will be getting information relatively soon. So keep your eye out for that date, May 12th, and you can the foundation gala will cost $110, $100 for the ticket, of which 100% of that goes to Rotary Foundation, as does a tax receipt for you. So those are some of the things that are coming up in the district, some of the things that we're doing in the district, and some of the things that we're really excited about moving forward. Any questions of me?
Foundation is a Wednesday night.
What?
The foundation dinner is a Wednesday night.
May 12th, yeah, I guess so.
You
All
have
right,
your hand up, Darcy?
Keith.
Yes,
Oh, sorry.
sorry.
Darcy has a hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just was checking to see if anyone else had their hand up. And the only other thing I'd like to add at this time, Dave, since we have many presidents here, it's great to see everybody, is I wanted to mention about the AGM. So the district AGM, that in those days long ago when we used to have in-person conferences, we would have the AGM at the conference. And last year we did it virtually. We're going to do it virtually again this year. So if you can mark your calendars that on April the 23rd, District Secretary Marianne will send out the package to you. That will contain all of the information that you will need, all the ballot pointing out what motions there are. Please share with your club. Every member of the district they're open to all of this information, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Again, this year, we're going to have 2 sessions for questions. They'll be set up on May the 11th and May the 18th at 7 p.m. So after you've had a chance to go through the package, if you or any of your members want to come to those sessions and ask questions, all of the people there with the answers, hopefully, will be there for you. And then on the 25th, midnight, is when you have to have that ballot to the secretary in order for it to be counted. So, and of course, in the letter that you receive in the package, it will explain to you how many votes each club gets, because it depends on how many members there are in the club. And yeah, I just want to take the opportunity, since Dave put me in charge of the AGM, that it got on everybody's calendar. Thanks.
Okay, thanks,
Darcy.
Darcy. Keith.
Okay, moving on to the next topic. Thank you, Dave. The next topic was to do a little bit of a follow-up on the fundraising. We did a session for the presidents back in the fall, talking about fundraising. We had some excellent ideas of what people have done. So we thought we'd take the opportunity to see if there's any more success stories that may have come up from the district. Does anybody have anything? Want to stick up your hand or put something in the chat to let us know? Our club did something which I can explain about in a moment, but I want to see if anybody else has any offers of things that they have done that they would like to boast about to the rest of the presidents. Oh, hello. We have at least a couple of hands coming up here.
There's
John
John
Forgans
and Bill.
in Kittimut. Yeah, so let's go with John first.
Certainly.
Yes, go ahead, John.
Yeah, obviously very small club, and our skills are changing as the club ages. So we had to try and come up with something creative. So we did something we called the Bah Hum Bug contest or promo over Christmas. And basically what we did was we took a 4x4 sheet of plywood, had an artist paint a cute little Christmas bug on it, and then dropped it off at someone's house in town with a letter that said, "You've been bah humbugged by so-and-so, and courtesy of the Rotary Club. To have us move this to somebody else, please provide us a name and a donation of $20 or more." And then they would send it in and we would take it to the next place. And basically 2 Rotarians were able to raise about $1,800 over Christmas.
Pretty good.
So super simple. We actually had to build a second bug halfway through because the town kept asking, "How do I get the bug on my lawn? How do I get the bug on my lawn?" So something very simple, didn't require a lot of effort, but certainly put some money in the project.
That's so cool.
John,
Fun
that's
and
great.
fun,
Thank you
too.
very much. Yeah, lots of fun. I like it. Excellent. Thank you. Bill from Pender Harbor.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. This one isn't all that exciting, but it's worked well for us. We decided to do a 50-50 monthly draw, and March 1st was the beginning of our draw. And so far we've got just over $7,000 in the 50-50 portion of it. And we've set it up using this Raffle Nexus, a commercial enterprise. So at the end of the day, on the total number, we probably end up with about 35 or 37% in our own pocket. And so to do this, we've set ourselves 2 or 3, well, 3 actually, causes that we thought would generate interest in the community. And it has done so. And so we're pretty happy with the way this is going so far. So I know it's our first month of doing this, and we don't expect the same intensity every month, but we're hoping. And to get people more interested, we've used social media, mainly through Facebook and people's mailing lists in order to get people to look at our websites. And we've set it up so it's very, very simple for people to donate. And it's all done online. The tickets are sent online and the money is collected the same way. So it's worked out very well for us so far. And I know other clubs have done this in the past, but I just thought I'd bring it up and mention how well it's going here. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
I'm not the president.
And Tony from Terrace, you going to give us a dog story or are you going to give us a fundraiser?
No, I just wanted to share that
You have to raise your hand.
that this year, I mean, throughout COVID, we have 2 fundraisers that we do. We do our Rotary Duck Race and we have our auction. And our duck race that we do is in August. And of course, when we were saddled with the idea of, do we not do our duck race with everything that's going on? Well, we weren't able to drop the ducks, but we had a duck draw. And I just want to say for the fact that our group, we did lose some members this year, but we maintained the group that we had. And I'm just really proud of our group because we persevered and we did our duck race, and we basically raised the same amount. The community came out and supported us. And then when we had our auction, again, we had to change things up. We had to do things a little differently. We did that, and we were more successful this year than we were last year. So I just, sometimes we had to think outside the box. We had to make some changes. We couldn't invite people in. When we were doing our auction, we had to go out and drop items outside instead of having people come inside to our venue. But you just have to think sometimes outside the box, be creative, and persevere. And I think my message is a little bit about perseverance in what you do and continuing to do what you do, because what you do is so important in your communities and what you stand for. So that's what I want to share.
Excellent. Thank you, Tony. And just a little word about the one we did in our club, where we did a shred-a-thon. And the first thing we found is that you need to make sure that the truck, when it comes there, is a working truck, which was a bit of an impediment, but we managed to get past that point. And we had COVID protocols in place, so people could bring the things to be shredded in the back of their vehicle. They'd open the back of the vehicle for us. We'd take it out, all suitably gloved and separated. And it worked for us very well. So well, in fact, that we ended up netting over $10,000, which for a shred-a-thon is quite remarkable in our area. So we're very pleased. It did help that the local McDonald's had about multiple boxes of stuff that they wanted shredded, so the timing was perfect for us. But again, just like it's been said tonight, we use social media to get the message out. We had newspaper advertising as well, and people came out. The weather wasn't great to start with, but we ended up getting a very successful successful day. So great, thank you very much. Okay, I see Jill from Whistler has her hand up. Would you like to say something, Jill?
Yeah, we were looking for things to do that was going to raise the last dollars that we needed for the refrigeration unit that we were buying for a mobile truck for Whistler Community Services, so that they could home deliver, perishable produce to families, and also for the school lunches. We needed a few more dollars, so we ran. The first one we ran was called Spirit Night, and we teamed up with the local distillery. And they had a very dynamic young lady there who acted as our host, and it was all on Zoom. People paid for the mini bottles of the different alcohols that they produced, and then they got a list of the extra ingredients they needed to buy to mix up cocktails. And we also created a whole load of recipes for appies to go with each one of the cocktails. And the cocktails were all named after things to do with the mountains, so a lot of reference to Whistler in the cocktail names. And it was we had a silent auction and we had a raffle on the same nights as well. So, but it was limited to 30 people because that was what we thought was going to be sort of a convivial group. And also that was the only number of bottles that they had, and the shipment for more bottles was delayed. So we just had 30 people on that one. But it was an absolutely roaring success because everybody had a wonderful evening mixing these cocktails and drinking these appetizers. And the girl was such a showwoman with her performance of doing all of this. And then everybody said, well, can we do another one? So last Tuesday, we did March Martini Madness, and we repeated it this time with 50 people, and we made martinis and had appies to go with martinis. And what we also did this time was had socializing. So we had breakout groups. We call them chat lounges. So we make a martini, we draw some of the raffle, we discuss the appies, and then we'd break into our, and you could wander around the different chat rooms. And we had a practice session for people before who wanted to attend to make sure that their computer was doing the chat rooms and everything okay. And then we'd repeat that after each martini. So people got lots of chance to sip their martini and chat with different people that they probably haven't seen for a while or had a chance to chat with. And it was an absolutely roaring success. So looks like our next one is going to be the Battle of the Beers. We've got 2 breweries. So we're going to try and get the 2 breweries and a competition going with voting for the best pale ale from the two breweries. And it's it's relatively easy to manage. It's Zoom, it's COVID-free, and everybody's had a wonderful social time and a lot of laughs, as well as raising money. So they have been absolutely terrific.
Wonderful. Shows what you can do when you're creative about these things. Thank you very much, Jill. Appreciate that. Dorothy, you have your hand up too from Scottish. To unmute yourself first, love.
Sorry about that.
There you go.
Somebody asked us about the puzzle fundraiser, And I have to tell you, it was lots of fun. It was a very steep learning curve because we were dealing with having puzzles shipped from a manufacturer in China. And during COVID, that made it quite interesting. They decided to divert the ship to another port. So we were a week behind with our puzzles, and people said, well, if we don't get them for Christmas, we don't want them. And so we were in a little bit of an uproar, but everything came through. We've sold almost 3/4 of them, and we had to order 10,000 or 1,000, I mean. So they cost us about $7.50 each. We managed to tag on to a group that was buying their own puzzles from there. So we ended up not having to pay shipping, which was lovely. So we sold 3/4 of them, and we expect to net about $20,000 in the end. So it's been a really good, really effective way to get our name out in the community. Each puzzle box has a story about our local Rotary Club, as well as the local First Nations information about the mountain that the pictures of. So they're still available on our website. And so if you like doing puzzles, or you know somebody that does, boy, we'd appreciate the support. It's been a really good one for us. I think we'll do it again because we've learned a lot now, and it was fun. So there you go.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Darcy, you have your hand up too.
I do, Keith. And before I talk about hours, I just want to mention a few things that were in the chat as well. And there was some talk about one of the New Westminster, I'm just going to call it back up here, New West Heart of the Matter. So if any of this catches, you know, that you want to learn more about it, then reach out to these clubs. So the New West Heart of the Matter. Then there was someone asked about the mixology. So I will fill you in on that, since that was our club. And that shredathon, I know Keith talked about it with Tsawwassen, but Peter Rofe and Ladner, they also did it, as well as I know in Richmond, some of the Richmond clubs have done it as well. The puzzle, and I think that was all that was mentioned in chat. So the mixology was something that actually, it is just amazing how Rotary works. It was an idea that was talked about at a social between a club in Oregon and the Tsawwassen Club. And of course, Tanya hangs out with that club a lot these days. So she actually went to the one in Oregon with a few of the members from Tsawwassen, and then our club ran with it. And we did one just after New Year's for 7 weeks. So you get a mixologist in, you send out the recipes the week before so people can buy the product. We tried to use some of the distillers and on the coast here, as well as some of the mixologists on the coast. But we also reached as far down as Chile, and a past district governor in Chile and his daughter taught us how to drink pisco, which is a fortified wine, almost a brandy from Chile. And it was a huge success. We had people from as far away as Newfoundland and Ontario, down in not San Francisco, but Northern California area. And people didn't want to end it. So now we have the Rotary Lounge set up every Friday night just as a social. Now we ended up raising over $5,000 on this. It was, I'm trying to think what we even charged. It was $50 for the link. And that was for your 7 weeks. And then what we did is we sold 2 advertisers a week, and we charged those advertisers $200 to advertise them, send them out on all the emails. So it's a bit of organizing, but it was a lot of fun. And I'm amazed at how many fundraisers we do in Rotary that evolve around alcohol. Well, actually, I'm not amazed, but it is cute. So I think that's all in. I don't think, and somebody actually, Chris is saying we shouldn't run so many events based on alcohol, just a thought. Yeah, but ours wasn't just Rotarians coming into our fundraiser. It was pretty amazing how many people came in. So that's all, Keith, that's in the chat right now.
Thank you very much, Darcy. Appreciate that. Okay, so let's move on to the
I was just going to say, Keith, at least with alcohol events now, there's you don't have to worry about people driving home.
This is also true. Yes, drinking and Zooming is not quite the same as drinking and driving. So it works out quite well. So just a few words about Rotary Club Central, which of course is still a key component of what we're looking for the clubs to do. It's been a tricky year for achieving goals. We recognize that. We had hoped that we'd be out of this pandemic by now, so we'll be doing the regular things that we do to make our clubs better. But we've still got opportunities. We've still got, and as we've heard with fundraising, for example, there's also things we can do with fundraising to A, make some money, but B, have some fun as well. And a lot of these events that we talked about provide a fun aspect, a social aspect of it. And so those are the things we can still do even despite COVID. In terms of everybody in the district, there are still 2 clubs who haven't put the 13 goals in, which is what we were hoping for. So if you haven't, please take the opportunity in the next few weeks to bump up your goals. You're only a couple of goals short each of you, and I'm not going to mention who you are, but if you could bring your total up to at least 13 goals in that list, that would be appreciated. And we still obviously have time to grow and contribute our clubs, both Rotary and from the point of view of the foundation, as Dave mentioned. We're doing quite well, but no point stopping just yet. We may as well boost that up as much as we can as well. So I just wanted to put that plug in to make sure that we are taking advantage of Rotary Club Central, using it to put our information in. As you achieve your goals, put the information in. As you have a fundraiser or a project, put that information as well, so we'll know what you're doing. Any questions on Rotary Club Central before we move on to the next topic? Anybody with anything in the chat there, Darcy? No? Okay, let's move on. And the next item is to talk about the strategic plan. Would you like to say a few words on that, Dave, please?
Sure. So Bella, past district governor Bella, has put a team together with John Bathurst as the chair, and excuse me, they've put together a strategic plan that they're going to start to take around to the clubs and work with them on building their clubs again to be more strategic, be more what's the right word I'm looking for here? Just building a team that will help you and guide you with the district resources that are there to help us as a club. They're there to help you with all of the ways that they can help build your club's plan. So if you have not spoken with Bella or John Bathurst in the past few months, please reach out and let them know when you would like them to do your strategic plan. I know they've got 2 or 3 in the hopper, and they're just waiting to get going. So hopefully they can reach out to you soon.
And of course, your PE is going to be working on their own plan, which should really dovetail with whatever the strategic plan for the club is as well. So you should probably work with your PE to make sure that you are creating and updating that strategic plan as well. Okay. Next on the list is the district conference, something near and dear to Dave's heart, I know.
there is one.
Yes, there is.
Keith, do you happen to have any of the videos?
Yes, there's one that will show up just a moment or two after this one.
All right, thank you very much. So as you all know, the conference has now gone fully virtual. It is virtual, it's live though. It's going to be, we're going to have a number of our speakers in a studio. And in that studio, it'll be just like a TV show, a radio show, where we'll have them speaking in front of all of the Rotarians that are at the conference, and they'll have a number of screens in front of them so they can see that there are a number of Rotarians out there. It's not just out in the Zoom land somewhere. It won't be Zoom that we'll be using. It'll be a similar type of thing, but the Zoom will be needed for the Friday night. Friday night we'll have a couple of celebrities we'll have Dr. Bowtie Jenkins, who will be speaking about DEI, about development equity and inclusion. And then also we'll have Neil McDonough, who's a movie star, but has a tendency to make sure that his parts are family only parts. He will not take a part in a movie where he actually has to kiss another woman other than his wife. And that's just one of the things that he'll talk about as the way he has to deal with Hollywood and be a family man at the same time. You want to play the video?
Well, I was going to say, we want to make sure we remind people that if you haven't registered already, you should register now. It's only $79 this year. It's such a steal. So we do recommend that you register now through the district website as usual. And yes, we do have a promotional video, and we'll play that for you now.
Greetings, Rotarians in District 5040. My name is Judith Diamond, and I am Dean of the Rotary Representative to the UN and other international organisations. I very much look forward to joining you at your district conference in June and discussing with you the family of Rotary, in particular the UN family and beyond. This is very timely because this year is the 75th anniversary of the United Nations, which Rotary played such an instrumental part in helping launch in 1947. I will be sharing with you the work of the 31 representatives to the United Nations agencies and other international organisations around the world. I'm very excited to join you in June and look forward to seeing you all then.
Thank you, Judith.
So now we move on to the now we move on to the next plug. So David, we want to talk about awards.
Yes. So for those of you that don't know, we have nominations closing April 4th and 5th. And the committee will meet and do their best to come up with, just a sec. Do their best to come up with the Club of the Year and the Rotarian of the Year. So please get your nominations either to your assistant governor or to Peter Clark, who some of you may know, and get the nominations to them as soon as possible so we can have them in for the in time. We wouldn't want someone saying, oh, darn, it could have been our club, but we didn't get our nomination in time. Just quickly back, I didn't mention, strangely enough, and I can't imagine why, is what are the dates of the conference? The dates of the conference are, thank you, Darcy, June 4th and 5th. And is there a youth component? Sorry, we're jumping ahead here on ourselves. Yes, there is. Tanya, do you want to tell us about the youth component?
I would love to. So thank you, Neil, for asking. So yes, there is a youth conference as well in conjunction with the main conference. This year, the piece that's the conference for Rotary Youth is the Friday evening as well. And we're participating in the speakers, but then we are having our own breakout for all the students to get to know each other. And that we're doing a bunch of games and we have a DJ and all that kind of cool stuff. And we're doing that all online, obviously. On the Saturday, we are participating with the main conference for all the speakers because the speakers are all awesome. I couldn't sort of pick a time where I would pull the students. They're just all great. So we're going to participate in all of the speakers, but we have an additional piece at the end on the Saturday that we're basically doing like a debrief. We also have a scavenger hunt that we've created, or that we're creating, that runs through the whole weekend. So they have to actually find certain things that happen during the conference. So they have to be paying attention because it is all online. So we then at the end in our debrief, that actually comes into that piece if they actually manage to successfully complete the scavenger hunt from the weekend. So there, yes, there is. It's $39 for interactors and other Rotary youth to participate. So if that registration hasn't opened yet, but it will be shortly. So you'll be getting information about that when it does go to registration. So yeah, $39, and it's per student, and that's based on the 4-way test. So we hope that everybody pays for those who participate. If clubs can't afford the $39 and they have multiple students and they'd like more to participate, please let us know and we will see what we can do to make an adjustment for that. But we are participating and paying for part of the technology as well for the main conference. So there's more cost than you might think to this virtual conference. Actually, and there's one addition is Dave had an incredible idea to bring a larger youth leadership conference to the north. And that piece is still happening, even though we're not physically in the north. So the high schools, school districts in the north are actually paying for this conference. It's about $10,000 that conference is costing, but it's actually being done for the high school students in the north on the Friday during school time. So that is a whole other thing that we'll send out information so you guys can all see what it's all about. If you are from the north, then your students hopefully will be participating in that because schools are actually having their whole schools to participate if they can. And then it's also open to all of our interactors anywhere in the district, but it's only open to interactors. And so we have that information to provide to you if you have an Interact club, so you can sell that idea to the school so they understand just how amazing that is, that those students have this special opportunity. Oh, yes, and Sarah, you've asked, yes, Rotaractors are invited to the conference as Rotarians because they are now elevated and equals. So they are to participate as full-fledged Rotarians. So Rotaractors and Rotarians are equal.
Thanks, Tanya. Leslie, you got your hand up.
Indeed, she does, but she's gone away.
Great. I'm here.
Oh,
yeah.
No, on the floor. Oh.
No, I just wanted to say that when you're talking about awards, I was just talking with our AG, Ron, and every member of our clubs, I think, needs an award this year. And that's what's the hard part about nominating anybody for an award, Dave, is that they're all wonderful. And this Family of Rotary conference is just so correct because I think our clubs, my club especially, has become more of a family. And sometimes the major support for each Rotarian, because we meet every week on Zoom, and we always make sure that each person gets a chance to talk. But the Family of Rotary is, I think, been amplified this year more than anything. So just want to make sure that can I nominate every member of my club? No.
You can if you'd like, but trust me, they're not all going to win.
It might get watered down that way.
But you can always put in for Club of the Year, Leslie.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, super. Okay, any more hands or things in the chat we should be aware of? I think we're reaching the point where we're going to stop sharing my screen. And
I think we're caught up with that. The only thing, Keith, if I can just say about the awards is, I don't know if you mentioned this, Dave, and if you did, I'm sorry, but I think it's worth mentioning again, is the deadline of the 4th of April is a firm deadline. You know, in past years, we've had people, oh, I'll be just a couple of days late. It can't be late because we will be the nominating committee, and it's the immediate past district governor who is the chair of that committee. So that's Bala. They are meeting on the 6th. So it can't go beyond the 4th. So please, please, please get your nominations in ASAP.
Thank you, Darcy.
Thank you very much. So I think I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, because now we're going to throw the floor open and look for additional topics, things that you, the attendees, would like to talk about, hear about, or ask questions about. So let's do some chatting and or hand raising, and we'll see what sort of information people may want at this point. And everybody's gone very quiet. Nothing in the chat, no hands raised.
Jerry.
Oh,
Jerry,
oh, Jerry. Yeah, thank you. Unmute yourself, please, Jerry.
Oh, sorry. Just a quick thing. We had a nice surprise this week. We received our usual amount from the gaming branch for the gaming funds. I felt that with the COVID and decrease in casino attendance, that sort of thing, there'd be very little money, but we got $33,000. I just wanted to share that with other clubs.
Very nice.
Really cool.
Oh, good, thank you. And I think Lorene has her hand up next, please. You have to unmute yourself, Lorene.
This is new.
One thing I'm not good at is remembering to unmute. Good evening, District Governor Dave and fellow Rotarians. I just wanted to share something that we did this year that was different. The Foundation Committee had an event called Share the Love, and around Valentine's Day, and we had 11 people submit Paul Harris's, and as a spinoff, there's another 4 coming. So that was pretty exciting to see that happen, and I just wanted to share what a lovely event that was, and very heartfelt for people to give tributes to their loved ones who've passed or people that are still here with us. A nice event to share. So a shout out to our Foundation Committee, and maybe some other people will enjoy that idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lorene. Okay. Anybody else have anything else that they want to talk about? Any ideas that they had? Any thoughts? Liz, you're smiling there because of your Heart of the Event Matter. I think we need to hear about that a little bit.
Oh, the Heart of the Matter is an event that we've been doing for about 23 years. And it's basically a dinner and a silent auction. And I shouldn't say we, our Kathy, who is our Ways and Means chairperson, put the effort in to take it online. We've never raised so much money. We raised over $65,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it was astronomical. So it was a lot of work,
Wow.
but really just brought out the best, and the support in the community was just so heartwarming. So if anybody's afraid to take stuff virtual, it's worth it. It was really an amazing thing for us to see.
So Liz, what do you think the reason was that it was so much better?
I think because it gave people something to do. I know that at the time that ours was on, I had 3 or 4 other auctions that I had been invited to do at the same time. It seemed to be something that was quite popular. And I think for us, people were so used to doing it because it's been 23 years that the money, it was usually $100 to come for dinner. So many people just donated the $100 or just, gave themselves a budget of at least $100 to spend. I think they said that the items sold at 65% of retail, which is quite high for a silent auction. So the whole thing was, it was really amazing. And again, with the people that didn't come for dinner, they would buy a gift card and donate the gift card that then would be bought by somebody else. Like it was really amazing. So it was scary. It was, it was different. It was a change, but we may continue to do a virtual aspect because
I was going to say, so will you go back or will you go forward?
I know. I think the thing that was so great, the Heart of the Matter was a great social event, and it still could return to that, but to see this kind of return in this format that people really seem to enjoy, I think that'll be a discussion for late in the fall.
I have seen where they've done like an online and then continued to an event.
Yes.
So you could do that component, like people could bid online in advance and then it's finished at the event.
Yeah, I think who knows, hey, it's going to be exciting to see. We also, for me, not through our club, but we did a couple of trivia nights online. And if anybody hasn't looked into that, that's another really great event. Everybody loves trivia. And again, so many donations were made just for people seeing that we were doing something, anything that they just literally just donated towards it. So virtual's good. And it's something that's going to be part of what we do from now on, I think.
Yeah. Great. Thanks, Liz.
Okay.
Welcome.
Peter Roof, have your hand up. So I'd like to say something. Peter, please.
I was just wondering how many clubs are thinking about going back in some form, hybrid or full to in-person club meetings between now and the end of June. We're kind of toying with it a bit, but we haven't made definite plans yet. We're also looking at our installation right at the end of June, being, if possible, an in-person event, but it may be a hybrid or a Zoom, so we don't know yet. Any other clubs moving in that direction? No. Lots of no's, heads.
Yes, no.
Yeah. For our club, and my president's not here, but I'm the president next year, so I'll speak for her. We are planning to continue hybrid. I don't foresee us taking an online component out of our meetings now, because we have so many like snowbirds and stuff, which is kind of a really cool advantage. We've had, like, before, if it was really important, they would Skype in or something, but it was sort of all Mickey Mouse. But now we're like, oh my gosh, this is actually not a difficult thing to do. Yeah. So I think we'll always stick with hybrid. Also, like, just people being sick and stuff in general is not going to be as acceptable to be out in public with a runny nose anymore. So yeah, we'll be sticking hybrid. I certainly hope that we have an outdoor all together for my installation. I hope we're together, but it'll be hybrid if anything.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Sarah from Powell River has her hand up.
Hey, so I've been hearing some rumors about bingo, and that apparently virtual bingo is like a huge moneymaker. I heard the Golden Club was doing it. I wondered how many other clubs were doing it and what their experience of doing it online virtually.
Love it. I haven't heard of anyone in ours doing it, but Kelowna does it as well, or Kamloops, sorry.
Kamloops, yeah.
Kamloops West and the entire Kootenay region.
Mm.
2 weeks ago, Kootenay and Golden gave away $80,000. So that means they kept $80,000.
Hmm. And Kamloops is really just, I think they're only on like week 5 or something, and they're already at like $4,000 to $5,000 that they give away a week, which also, as Matthew said, means that they're keeping that much money as well. So yeah, that's
yeah. You can give away a car 1 week.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty fun.
Can I just ask, are they doing it with, like, they actually have the ping pong ball machine in someone's house and they're doing that, or it's all done by a computer?
Our club in Prince George is actually, we have our gaming license in process. We're hoping to have a game in 2 weeks. And we just have the spinning cheapo $200 entry one. But Golden has made so much money, they bought the $14,000 one where the ball comes up, you put it in its little slot, it puts it up on the board, the computer generated board that's on their Facebook page. And when someone calls out bingo, you just give your card number and they type your card number in and the computer tells you if that's a bingo or not, the whole bit. So we're not there, but Kamloops still does it, manual verification and manual spin as well. So, and I know a Rotary related business in Kamloops has built a front end for selling the BC Lottery unique bingo cards. So they're just in process and we're getting on board with them.
Yeah, there are restrictions about how you generate the numbers, and you'll find that a computer generated one always used to be a no-no. It has to be done.
It still is a no-no.
Yeah.
Somebody.
I thought so. Thank you, Matthew.
You still have to buy BC Lottery serial numbered paper, and then you scan each one into the computer, and you sell those individually and send people their unique PDFs.
And then the numbers have to be generated by a machine that's other than a computer, which can be controlled. All
Correct.
right,
You have
Leslie,
to
your
buy a
hand up. Yeah.
BC Lottery approved device.
Yeah, exactly. Leslie, you have your hand up. Oh.
I did. Just wanted to mention too, I think we talked about the conference, but as you know, the conference this year is very economical for everybody, every member of every club. So I would like all my fellow presidents to have just about every member of their club attend the conference. There should be no reason that they're not attending the conference this year. It's going to be amazing, the speakers and the way it's going to be virtually live to everybody that attends. So if you just every meeting from now on, you should be encouraging or even paying for your members to attend. It's we look at it as continued education too for your members. So please talk to all your members. They should all be attending Dave's conference. Thank you.
I'm sure Dave appreciates your plug. Thank you very much.
Absolutely correct.
And Leslie's always right.
Good to know. Good to know. Jerry, you have your hand up, please.
Yeah, I just follow on to the hybrid meetings. We're actually going to do our strategic planning and we're getting out from the district with John Bathurst. Obviously, he's a member of our club. But we've been looking at attendance, and with Zoom meetings, we have about 115 members in our club. We get about 35 to 40 members on Zoom. In person, we're usually at least 60 or more. So I thought more people would attend by Zoom because they don't have to travel downtown or pay for lunch or whatever, but it hasn't worked out that way. We'll probably still have a hybrid component, but in person is going to be our main focus.
Thank you for that
Yeah,
update.
I think most of the clubs are going to have the focus on in-person, but having the hybrid available, so that the clubs are doing both.
Yeah. Okay. Debbie from Richmond Sunrise, you may have the floor, please.
Thank you. Just a couple of comments. We actually get more people attending via Zoom than we did in person in our club. And I think it's because we meet at 7 o'clock in the morning and it's a hell of a lot easier to get there if you just have to roll out of bed and dress from the waist up. So we'll definitely continue with hybrid. Zoom has been actually pretty good for our club. Our fundraiser that we just completed was we rolled it out for spring, was a hanging basket sales fundraiser. And thank you to the other Richmond clubs and Tawasin and Ladner, who kindly also spread the word about our fundraiser. And we have raised, we grossed about 15,000 and 8 of that goes to the club. So pretty good. And we have a curbside pickup at one of the local churches. That's going to be happening May 1st. So we just took orders and we used Shopify as the platform, which I would highly recommend. It was really great. It was very professional, and that way people could just order and pay just like ordering anything online. And it was our first go around with Shopify, and it was really good. So definitely would recommend that if you're wanting to sell something and you need an easy way to do it. That would be the platform that we would recommend. And then I was just going to ask about the conference. Is there some sort of a nice brochure online, of course, with like an agenda and some other information? Because if I want to promote it to my club, but it would be really great if I could show them something at the same time. So just wondering.
If you go to celebraterotary.ca,
yeah,
you should be able to find some materials there, Debbie.
Perfect.
And if you can't find what you want, let me know and we'll make sure we get it for you.
Okay, that's great. We have a club business meeting coming up next week. So that's when I thought I could put in a nice big plug for the district conference.
Great.
Excellent.
Thank you, Debbie.
I believe, Dave, you were going to be sending out some messages to the presidents as well.
Yeah.
And that video that you saw, there's going to be more of them coming. So lots of opportunity to really promote it to the clubs. And I love Leslie's little challenge she's got going there.
Yeah, there are already a couple of other videos up there as well that you can show to your club that will talk about the conference in different ways. So yeah, by all means, celebraterotary.ca and get what you need.
Sarah from Powell River, you have your hand up, please.
Oh, I was just wondering, a friend of mine gave me this package of seeds. It's for milkweed. Apparently there's been a 90% decline in the monarch butterflies.
Ooh.
And this is the only plant that they land on. And I was just wondering if anyone else is doing anything. I heard there was a couple of Rotary clubs that were doing something for butterflies, but also with adopting the environment, if anyone has got any projects going on for the environment, because I thought this would be maybe an easy one to do, to start seedlings for milkweed and then sell them, because I think a lot of people are quite enthusiastic about butterflies. So just curious if anyone else has got anything going.
I'm going to
My
call
ignorance
on Lorraine.
is, pardon my ignorance, but are butterflies pollinators?
Yes.
Yeah.
Big time.
Lorraine, could you tell them about our pollinator?
Yes,
application
Keith,
that
thank
we
you for
made,
calling
please?
on me. Our Rotary Club has put in a Yes, it was a spin-off from that October Rotary magazine. I was really impressed with the story about the monarch butterflies, and I mentioned that to our project director and thought maybe there's something we could do. And the project team came up together with an idea about a pollinator garden. So like the person that asked, are monarchs, butterflies, pollinators? Yes, they're one of many. So we've hooked up with, not hooked up, but talked to Earthwise Society, and they've come up with a list of pollinator trees, which I never even thought of, plus shrubs, plus plants. And together with that, and thank you to Peter Rowe over and over again, who introduced me to a federal grant opportunity that we put in to see if we can get some funding to put through the environmental garden. So it'll be an environmental garden with trees, shrubs, and flowers that will take the pollinators through the entire year, working hopefully with some local artists to make signs, some benches to sit on, some artwork, an educational portfolio to it, share it with the local schools. It's still in the design phase, but hopefully if the grant goes through, and if that doesn't happen, we've heard about other grants that maybe we can work with as well. So Peter, I remain eternally grateful. I would have never known about that federal grant if you hadn't sent me the link. So I was dancing on my toes, and the federal grant is a long and arduous process. And thank goodness we have a grant expert in our club who's working with the person from Earthwise, who's equally as experienced with working with grants. So yes, we'll have all sorts of plants. I don't know that one in particular, but I am an avid gardener, and we have a little Rotary garden off our freeway rest stop here that is a bee-friendly garden, and we plant wildflowers every year that is a nice enhancement for passersby, and that is a bee pollinator garden. So that's what we've got on the go, and we'll let you know. We should know about May if the grant number 1 goes through, and if it doesn't, we'll have something else up our sleeve to try and make it happen. Thank you for asking.
Thank you, Lorraine. I think we're getting close to a wrap-up point here, so we probably need to come to a very key ending question, which we talked about earlier on, Dave. And that is to know the benefit of these sessions, because we think we may want to have another one before the end of the Rotary year. And we're just kind of looking to get some sort of feedback from the presidents as to, first of all, whether they would like to have another session, and B, what's an appropriate date and time. Earlier on, we looked, Darcy and I were looking at dates, and we thought perhaps end of May, beginning of June might work. But we'd like to know what people's agendas are like, whether there's an opportunity in there. Do you have anything else you'd like to add to that, Darcy?
No, that's great. I don't know if people want us to just email that out, or maybe show us a heart or something, give us an idea of whether it's something that you would like to do again.
There are definitely some hearts popping up, which is
Well,
good to know.
I think that it looks like there's a lot of people that have enjoyed this session. So we'll probably look at putting one together. Maybe it'll be the week after the conference, so we can not only talk about how things are going, but how our first virtual conference, which is going to be spectacular, went.
second because Ballas was virtual.
Wasn't live virtual.
Oh, wasn't live virtual.
He's
So
wasn't
I
live
would say
virtual,
to
yeah.
everyone then mark their June 8th, which is a Tuesday night, on their calendar then, Dave, if that works for you.
March 8th or
June.
June the 8th.
June.
And then that won't even give us a chance to be actually come down from the district conference yet.
That's
So
true.
we'll be all excited.
Okay, we can send that out to the presidents as well as being a suggested date to have the next forum.
Yeah.
And between now and then, we'll come up with appropriate topics. Do you
Okay.
have your hand up again, Lorraine?
Yes, I wanted to say that I think this is just fantastic to see people from around the district, and the compliments for sending out the report the assistant district governor sent out of their meeting, because that's where I heard about that jigsaw puzzle fundraiser, which really captivated my attention. But there was so many interesting ideas that gave me a snapshot exactly what it was intended to do, to know what other clubs are doing. So from that document, I probably read it 3 or 4 times and picked up different things I've shared with it, different directors, and I'm contemplating sending out the entire document to the whole board of directors, because there's nuggets of information for everybody on different topics. And that was a real gift. I wanted to say thank you for that. And now I get to put names to faces. Dorothy, I'm going to call you about that jigsaw fundraiser. I want to know how you sold so many. What's your secret to selling so many? There you go. Awesome job. of
Personality,
sharing.
what can I say?
Ah.
Online, all online, getting people to share it with all their friends. Just share. We had over 6,800 hits on our website for the puzzle alone.
I think that's the greatest thing. It's not stale dated. What you don't sell this year, you can sell next year. I wondered maybe if you, online, social media. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, that's a good tourist gift as well come summer. So,
and who doesn't want to buy someone a jigsaw puzzle, you know?
I'll just let you know that I reached out to a bunch of realtors, and I sold quite a few of them to people that were having new clients come into town. Something to do with their families, and kind of a nice welcome gift that not everybody else does.
That's
So,
a great
there you
gift.
go.
Yeah, to leave in the house when you're done. Like, here's that's cute.
Okay. Liz, you have your hand up. Let's go then.
Yes, I just wanted to echo what Dorothy just said, but your chairperson of your puzzle fundraiser, Vicky, had sent out a note today to people that were interested in the puzzle. It's quite a detailed outline of what they did, how they did it. So maybe Dorothy, you could share that with all the people that are interested in the puzzle.
Yeah, I love it. Lorene McCleary, Tawasin.
Thanks.
And,
All right.
and just a comment that was made, John and Kitimat, he feels that this is really helps to drive home the true power and scope of Rotary coming from a remote club. And we're pretty remote up here on the Sunshine Coast, and even more so for our friends up there on Powell River. And you're absolutely right, John. You know, the majority of the clubs, not only in our district, but around the world, are small. And but we're all small and mighty, right? It is amazing what the world of Rotary can do. So great comment, John.
Absolutely. And I want to thank each and all of you for your comments, your participation, your willingness to sit here for the time we spent tonight. And hopefully look forward to seeing you all again at the district conference, followed by the next President's Forum. Unless there's any final questions that anybody has, or anything that you'd like to add, Dave, before we close up shop for the night.
CelebrateRotary.ca. That'll tell you how much fun you're going to have at June 4th and 5th at the district conference.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And thank you, Darcy, for helping out. And I appreciate all of you turning up tonight. So go home, stay safe, stay well, and we'll look forward to seeing you all in person one of these days, but certainly virtually in the near future. Thank you very much.
All for coming out. I really appreciate what you're doing.
Thank
for the
you.
district.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Awesome to see
What we're
faces.
doing
and
for
put
5040.
faces.